Hey, what's up, guys? John here. Jerome Powell let us know interest rates are going to continue to rise. The economy is going to continue contracting, and we're going to be stepping into a situation in which there's going to be less and less jobs available. A lot of people know this. A lot of people are kind of anticipating this. They're expecting it. They're seeing this being reflective of the stock market and where things are going, the headlines. But what a lot of people don't know, especially people located in America and in Europe, is what's actually happening in China right now. The CEO of Huawei, which is the #2 largest cell phone manufacturer in the world, just released an email to all of his employees letting them know what's really coming. And apparently this email was leaked. Believe that or not, what he said is something we all need to pay attention to. But first, let me share with you. Powell, Fed could keep lifting rates sharply for some time. Stocks session lows, Dow with losing 700 points. Right? This is at 1:46 p.m. Now it's over 800 points. And, this is going to escalate, I believe, especially when we look at this background here. Look at the advertising in the background of his image, right? It's all too familiar. Everything is it connects so perfectly, so easily that it'll be hard not to see it. Right? These are the people making the decisions, right? These are the people making the decisions. Huawei founder warns of painful global slowdown and tells company to brace for survival. This just came out. The founder of Chinese telecom giant Huawei is the latest high-profile figure in China to go viral after warning company of staff of tough times ahead for the firm and the global economy. In a leaked email intended for only company staff, the CEO, who is, it's not just some random guy, he's worth $1 billion according to Wikipedia. In a leaked email intended only for the company staff, the CEO warned that there will be no bright spot in the world. No bright spot in the world for 3 to 5 years. A very painful historical period as the global economy declines. His comments were first reported by the Chinese financial publication and have since been taken down from the site, as well as other local media outlets. Over the next decade, global economic conditions will continue to deteriorate because of Russia's war in Ukraine and the ongoing effects of the pandemic. This is what he's saying. Over the next decade, we have 8 years until the new decade, right, of 2030. So 8 years. He's saying at least the next 3 to 5 are going to be, hell, right? A depression. He's saying that it's going to be no bright spot in the world. Look at 2008. 2008, of course, it was a housing crash. It was something that, was felt all throughout America. The world slightly felt it in some small capacity. But this situation, we are going through a global transition right now. This is not just going to be interest rates rising and, oh no, some people can't qualify to, buy that brand new house, or maybe a refinance would be too expensive. This is bigger than all of that. We're stepping into something unlike anything we've ever seen before in history. And when the smartest people in the room are all selling stock at the highs, right? Even Elon Musk was recently just selling more stock. When people are just unloading shares, you have to ask yourself this simple question. Why would they unload all these shares if they thought that the market was going to continue at the same rate when they could simply take out a loan against their shares? If they had $10 billion in stock, they could probably take out a loan for $6 billion or $7 billion and pay 1 or 2% interest, take all that cash, make all the investments that they wanted, and still maintain custodial ownership of their stock. The only way that they would sell is if they thought, in fact, that we are going through a really troubling time, and that they would essentially get margin called, and then they would be underwater on their stock and then still responsible for all the money in which they borrowed against that stock. That is the only reason that I could come up with that Zuckerberg, that Elon, that Gates, that Bezos, all the wealthy were just dumping shares, right? And then we just, you just connect the dots. You look at the background here. They've said this over the last couple years that by 2030 things are going to be different, right? The world's going to be different. Everything is going to be different. And the same, what are the odds that they would use this image, right? They're trying to make things pretty clear to understand. Things are going to be different. It's going to change a lot of what we know. That being said, today's paid sponsor is thesolutionevent.com. They believe that things are going to be very challenging. Food, survival, shelter, having a game plan is all important. That's what they're about, and they have a plan. And if you want to learn more about it, you simply click the link down below in the description of this video to join their free event that they're having very, very soon at thesolutionevent.com. What do you think about this? What do you think about it? We're starting to see the pullback in the housing market. We're seeing interest rates rise. We're seeing inflation get out of control. We're going to see them do whatever they have to do to quote unquote combat inflation, and they're going to keep lifting rates to try to bring inflation back to normal levels. The only way in which they would do that is they would have to bring rates to double digits, and the market, everything would fall apart, because this entire system is built on debt. Everything is built on borrowing money that we don't have, right? So we just borrow. When rates go from 3% to 6% and go from 6% to 8%, this isn't going to last. I believe that this guy is right on the money. He's obviously a very smart and successful guy. He's right on the money. He's letting all of his employees know that there's not going to be a bright spot in the world for 3 to 5 years. A very painful historical period as the global economy declines. His comments were first reported, right? Over the next decade, global economic conditions will continue to deteriorate. How does he know this, right? Over the next decade, it's going to just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse because of the Russian war in Ukraine and the ongoing effects. What do you think about it? Drop your comments below. Do you think that he's right on the money, that we are going to, in fact, see this painful decline over the next decade, that we are going to see, nowhere to hide over the next 3 to 5 years? And do you think Jerome Powell is going to try to increase interest rates and continue in this direction over the next 6 months to a year to 18 months, continuing to increase rates, which is only going to obviously push more people into, the unemployment line, push the cost of goods and services more as they try to taper demand and bring demand really, really far down, and they start to really kind of bring all this together? Drop it below. Let's talk about it. Subscribe here. Subscribe to my second channel. It's going to be an interactive call-in show. I have 4 guests already confirmed, starting next week on Friday is the first guest. We're also going to be doing the call-in show starting on Monday. So be sure to subscribe down below there. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But I'm curious, it's fascinating to me because a year ago, people would have thought that this is all crazy because I was reporting on it. And a lot of people would say, that's not true, that's not real. But now when you have the billionaires coming out, you have all these people that are coming out literally saying it. And they're not just saying it with, their words, they're saying it with their feet. They're marching in that direction. They're all getting ready for it. They're getting ready for the chaos, right? Whereas most people, they're pretending like it's not happening. But slowly, I think every single day, more and more people are waking up to just how bad it's getting, They're saying 800 points today. Let's see what it is by the end of the year as these utility bills continue to skyrocket and, it gets more and more challenging. People are going to be pushed into this financial situation. I think that we're going to see in Q1 and Q2 of 2023 a whole new outlook on this economy, not just by a select percentage of the population paying attention to it all, but by 100%, of the population. Drop below, subscribe here on my second channel. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
If you're interested in being sponsored on my YouTube channel, visit cashnow.video/sponsor and fill out the application.